Thank you, teachers and school board administrators, for tuning in to our sales pitch for the new technological advanced simulation exercise that will ensure maximum equality between all races and all genders. Have you ever looked around in your school and were just disgusted with how some students are treated by others? And just because of their stereotypes, too. Have you ever been in the position where you just wish that you could make a difference in your academic institution and that you can stop those stereotypes in its place? Well, now you can. With the new Stereotype Threat Destroyer 2000 out on the market, we believe that Stereotype Threat can be a thing of the past. Our device involves the idea of allowing people to be put in other people's shoes and allowing individuals to be able to experience and understand what it's like to be truly another culture within the schooling environment. You might be asking yourself, what is Stereotype Threat and why should I care about it at all? Well, this is a pre-made video that gives you the idea and gist behind Stereotype Threat.
Good morning, Jenny. How is the fourth grade treating you?
Not well. I am struggling in my math class. It seems like all of the boys are doing better than I am.
That is simply because girls are not good in math. Maybe you should focus on home economics.
George, this is not 90 years ago. There's gender equality now. I can excel in just as many things as boys.
You are right. I am sorry. Well, maybe your performance in math is due to this theory I was just reading about.
Is this another one of your crazy alien abduction theories? Because for the last time, I have never encountered aliens.
No. This is a real theory. It is called the stereotype threat theory. It hypothesizes that the reason for lack of academic performance among stereotyped groups may be due to being afraid of confirming the stereotype.
So you are telling me that I am scared of boys being better at me in math, and that makes them better than me?
Essentially, yes. It is like a self-fulfilling prophecy.
But I am not scared. My mom told me I am one of the bravest girls she knows.
According to this theory, you do not need to be aware of the fear. You simply need to know there is a stereotype.
Okay, but math is a favorite subject. Shouldn't that mean I am better at math than boys?
Actually, your love of math only increases the effect of the theory. Due to math being your favorite subject, you feel an increased pressure to prove the stereotype wrong, but instead this pressure lessens your achievement.
So should I just give up trying to be good at math?
Not at all. There are ways to reduce stereotype threat through interventions and other strategies.
As you can see, women have a stereotype that they are just naturally bad at math. George believes that this could be a reason for the poor grades that Jenny has been getting in her math class. Stereotype threat causes people who are affected by it to use up much more of their brain and their cognitive memory when they have to both focus on, for instance, Jenny's math test, as well as the stereotype that she faces and must deal with during that same test. George then mentions the idea that in many cases, when women or really any minority goes out of their way to suppress that stereotype, it can actually lead to adverse effects. By trying not to suppress those stereotypes in an individual to make it not shown to others, the brain uses a lot more of its cognitive memory and ability. As a result, this makes it a lot harder to concentrate on the problems at hand, which can lead to poorer performances, such as Jenny's case in her math test. Teachers, stereotype threat doesn't stop at school. Once you let them go, your students will eventually go on to college and eventually enter the workforce. All the while, stereotypes don't stop. They are apparent throughout a woman's whole adolescence and even throughout their whole life. Women will go on to work in places where they are continuously believed to be less capable than men, like with the perception that girls are worse than boys in math. The girl student will go on to believe that they are not appropriate for leadership positions either. With how men perceive women, they simply don't think of them as intimidating enough or even powerful enough to be a perceived leader. Women will often go on to try and appear to be more masculine just to be seen as more appropriate to be having a powerful position at work. We can't have the girls that we know now that willingly change the way in which they address themselves just because they believe it's the only way to move up in their working community. Stereotypes threaten women because they essentially place the ceiling on the woman's ability to move up in the workplace without changing themselves. It is up to us to learn from our mistakes in order to make sure the future is a better place for everyone alike, including women and minorities. It all starts with our youth. We must start to try and change the mindsets of our children in order to ensure change. The sooner the age in which we stop those stereotypes from appearing and taking effect in our youth, the more profound the impact we can have on our future in terms of equality. This is where the Stereotype Threat Destroyer 2000 comes into play. The Stereotype Threat Destroyer 2000 is our new virtual reality simulator. With this device, people are able to see and feel what it's like to have to deal with stereotypes and the threats in which they entail to others, such as women and other minorities. The device has settings which ensures the Stereotype Threat Destroyer makes it feel as if the person wearing it is the person which the device is set to. We have different settings of people that the user is able to choose from, including women and most minority groups. This way, the user is able to get to feel what it's like to experience stereotype threat from a range of people rather than just one specific race, gender, or religion. With the Stereotype Threat Destroyer 2000, the user gets taken through different interactions ranging from group dynamics, test taking, and how a person may conform themselves given different social roles, all of which have a purpose. The group dynamics scenario allow people to understand differences in how a person's ideas and knowledge are perceived in a group setting. For instance, according to the article Stereotype Threat at Work by Lorian Robertson and Carol T. Kulik, if you are in a group setting, a male will be naturally more inclined to believe other men's ideas over a woman's. As a result, women will try to act invisible because they are scared that if they do talk or try and contribute, they will get shunned because they are believed to be the least informative and least knowledgeable. Stephen J. Spencer, Claude M. Steele, and Deanne M. Quinn all worked in an experiment based around stereotype threat and math performance. They came to the result that stereotype threat causes people to underperform, especially in tests that are considered difficult by the student. In our test-taking scenario, the user will be placed in a test-taking scene that deliberately includes stereotype threat against the group of people that the person selects. This gives the user the ability to see the effects that stereotype threat has on a person through their underperformance. Along with this, the person will be able to feel the anxiety related to trying to worry about both test taking along with dealing with the stereotypes at hand on the test. The last instance involves the idea behind people conforming to different social roles. This is mostly based around gender. In the article Stereotype Threat and Female Communication Styles, feminist experimenters in the field of psychology created a study based around negotiations and leadership styles and what it says about gender. Overall, it was shown that in order for a woman to be an effective negotiator along with an effective leader, they must take on masculine traits rather than maintaining their own feminine views and personalities. With the Stereotype Threat Destroyer 2000, a person will be put under a leadership role. They will be shown that as a woman, they must bring about a masculine persona in order for their workers to take them seriously and comply with their tasks that are assigned to them. Perhaps the best takeaway from all these simulations is that the user gets an inside look on the emotional side of many of the different aspects of stereotype threat. Because of this, the user will be able to be much more considerate over what they say and how they act around different cultures, such as race, religion, and of course, gender. The Stereotype Threat Destroyer 2000 is going to be revolutionary in ensuring the complete equality for genders and minorities. The simulations are powerful and impactful enough for children to learn off of them and take what they learn in order to apply it to their everyday life. Our world is not perfect. It is filled with discrimination and injustice, and it's simply not fair. We cannot change what we already created, but we can change the future. We must teach our youth that equality is best. We are in need of change and progress. So to help this, we are simply giving away the Stereotype Threat 2000. Just call 1-800-555-2222. I repeat, 1-800-555-2222 to order your Stereotype Threat Destroyer 2000. Help teach the children of today just how much of an impact stereotype threat has on others, so that it can be stopped for the sake of everyone. Make the future a better place.